The Teaching Profession subject of Mrs. Joanne Castillas, submitted and reported by Camille Kirong and Marjorie Tahop. Good day, everyone. We will tackle about Chapter 6, Ensuring Teacher Quality through Competency Framework and Standards. This chapter basically focuses on how to become or acquire teacher qualities. Here are the topics that will help us be an exemplary teacher. First, quality teacher and teacher quality defined. Second, the competency framework for teachers in Southeast Asia. Third, the Philippine Qualification Framework. Lastly, Philippines Professional Standards for Teachers. Aren't you excited to learn these educational treasures? In these challenging and competitive times, most educators and policymakers agree that one of the most important school-related factors influencing student achievement and outcomes is teacher quality, since it is the teacher who can directly impact and influence the students. The teacher also redirects student learning, thinking, and behavior. If a teacher prepares well how the students can learn best, thus, students would really be motivated and achievements could be seen in the later part. One of the biggest challenges of ensuring teacher quality is the attractiveness of teaching profession. The teaching profession is not as attractive like the other profession. That is why it does not always get the best material. This is a cause of concern in many countries around the world, as exemplified in the Global Teacher Status Index report in 2013. What really is a quality teacher? Quality teachers are characterized by the different skills needed in the 21st century education. Now, here is the crystal clear framework of 21st century skills. Partnership 21 identified themes that are relevant to the changing times. These are global awareness, financial economic, business and entrepreneurial literacy, civic literacy, and health literacy. Also included are knowledge and values. With these themes in mind, the 21st century skills framework are clustered into three. Learning and Innovation Skills Framework hones one to be a team person. This boosts his interpersonal skills like first, critical and problem-solving skill, finding best solutions in life's problem by thinking outside the box and by metacognition. Second, communication and collaborative skill, reaching out other people to achieve things together and succeed. Lastly, creativity and innovation, giving never-before-seen concepts and ideas. Information, Media, and Technology Skills Framework include information literacy, media literacy, and ICT. Learners should be fully geared by skills on how to deal with today's knowledge explosion on the internet and how to disseminate and benefit from them. Lastly, life and career skills facilitate the children and how to adapt with the fast-changing world to be ready to utilize the necessary skills to survive. This will definitely be advantageous for posterity or to the next generation. Quality teachers are competent teachers. Teachers with global competence are able to demonstrate knowledge, skills, values, and dispositions as described below. Understand one's own cultural identity and its influence in personal dispositions and classroom practices. Know and integrate global dimensions in the subject one teaches. Engage students in learning. Fourth, use real-life local and global examples. Fifth, value the inputs of culturally and linguistically diverse learners. Sixth, create environments that encourage positive cross-cultural interactions. Seventh, model social responsibility in local and global contexts. And lastly, help learners find appropriate actions to improve local and global conditions. Having the appropriate competencies for the teaching describe a quality teacher. Can quality teachers provide teacher quality in our schools? Teacher quality is a bit difficult to define. According to Teacher Quality on 2013, for some countries like the US, it has shifted its definition of teacher quality from the possession of a credential or certification to what students know and are able to do with what they were taught by their teachers. This is related to the outcome-based education. On the other hand, some other countries use standards for teacher quality. The OECD, which stands for Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, has proposed on the discussion table that the core elements of the teacher quality standard include: first, planning and preparation, including knowledge of content and pedagogy, knowledge of students, coherent instructional plans, and knowledge on how to access student learning. Second, classroom environment, including creating a culture for learning and managing student behavior. Third, instruction, including communicating effectively, using appropriate discussion techniques, engaging students, and providing responsive feedbacks to learners. And lastly, professional responsibilities, including reflecting on teaching, communicating with families, contributing to the schools and community, and developing professionally. These are differences in the context of how teacher quality is defined. Hence, there is no universal standard of teacher quality. The teaching profession needs to have standards in a way that other professions has to advance its status. They should be developed and owned by the teachers themselves, like in Finland, Sweden, and Denmark. In other countries, teacher standards for teacher quality are set at the national or state levels, but with considerations for local flexibility on the implementation. In summary, quality teachers are defined by their attributes and characteristics, while teacher quality is defined by the students set for the profession and are validated by the students' learning outcome.
Letter B. The Competency Framework for Teachers in Southeast Asia, or CFTC. In collaboration with Thailand's Teacher Education Council, SIMO Secretariat, or SIMIS, and the SIMIO Regional Center for Educational Innovation and Technology, or ENOTEC, initiated the Competency Framework for Teachers in Southeast Asia, which was developed in 2017. So, as I have said, in 2017, there was a collaboration happened with those groups that I have mentioned already. What are those groups? Those groups was playing a key role in promoting professional best practices through awards. They provide quality learning services, research and solutions development, knowledge management, as well as other support services to enable the Southeast Asian community respond effectively to their current and emerging educational needs. The purpose was to revitalize teacher education and to promote teaching as a profession of first choice by professionalizing teachers' pre-service and in-service development using this regional competency framework as a guide. There are 4 essential competencies. First, knowing and understanding what to teach. Ability of teachers to deepen and broaden their knowledge on what to teach, understand education trends, policies, and curricula, and be updated on local, national, regional, and global developments. 2. Helping students to learn. Ability to know students use the most effective learning and learning strategies, assess, and give feedback on how students learn. Third, engaging the community. Ability to partner with the parents, and caregivers involve the community to help students learn and encourage respect and diversity. And lastly, the fourth, becoming a better teacher every day. Ability to know oneself and others, practice human goodness, and then master the teaching practice. These four groupings of these competencies can help organize and simply for teachers what they need to master to maximize their performance, classroom management, instructional delivery, formative assessment, and personal competencies. Next, as you can see, there is a pie graph or pie diagram. It consists of the four essential competencies and their corresponding rules. The Southeast Asia Teachers Competency Framework is envisioned to be a helpful guide in improving the performance of teachers across the region. As a frame of reference, the CTCF is a development tool to address the evolving demands of teaching profession.
Philippine Qualification Framework. What is it? Philippine Qualification Framework is defined as a national policy describing the levels of educational qualifications and set the standards for qualification outcomes. It is also a quality assured national system for the development, recognition, and award of qualifications based on standards of knowledge, skills, and values acquired in different ways and methods by the learners and workers of a certain country. In other words, Philippine Qualification Framework is a legal document that adopts the national standards and levels for outcomes for education in the country. So let's go to the legal basis. The Philippine Qualification Framework was established in 2012 through Executive Order Number 83, while its governance is stipulated in the Ladderized Education Act of 2014. The passage of the PQF Act in January 2018 provided the legal support for its full implementation. And who are the beneficiaries of the Philippine Qualification Framework? They are the learners, workers, professionals, employers, industry, academe, and the government.
B. Philippine Professional Standards for Teacher describes the levels of education qualifications and sets the standards for qualification outcomes. As defined in RA 10968, qualification refers to a formal certification that a person has successfully achieved specific learning outcomes relevant to the identified academic, industry, or community requirements. A qualification confers official recognition of value in the world of education and training, work, and job creation. Why is it important for teachers to know the standards? Because standards set clear and measurable goals. PPST is a public statement of what teachers need to know, value, and be able to do in their practice. There are 7 domains of Philippine professional standards for teachers. First, content, knowledge, and pedagogy. Second, learning environment. Third, diversity of learners. Fourth, curriculum and planning. Fifth, assessment and reporting. Sixth, community linkages and professionals engagement. And lastly, the seventh is personal growth and professional development. And each domain have a strands will be discussed next. So now, let's discuss the 7 domain of Philippine professional standards for teachers. First is the content, knowledge, and pedagogy. It recognizes the importance of teachers' mastery of content knowledge and its interconnectedness within and across curriculum areas, coupled with a sound and critical understanding of the application of theories and principles of teaching and learning. It has a 7 strands, which is the content, knowledge, and its application within and across curriculum areas, research-based knowledge and principles of teaching and learning, positive use of ICT, strategies for promoting literacy and numeracy, strategies for developing critical and creative thinking as well as other higher-order thinking skills, mother tongue Filipino and English in teaching and learning, and lastly, the classroom communication strategies. The second domain is the learning environment. It provides learning environment and are safe, secure, fair, and supportive in order to promote learner responsibility and achievement. They create an environment that is learning focused and they efficiently manage and learner behavior in a physical and virtual space. It has six strands, which is the learner safety and security, fair learning environment, management of classroom, structure and activities, support for learner participation, promotion of purposive learning, and lastly, the management of learner behavior. The third domain is the diversity of learners. It refers to the infinite variety of life experiences and attributes a child brings to their formal learning at school. All students with diverse learning needs have a right to access a full and engaging education on the same basis as their peers. And it has a 5 strands, which is the learner's gender, needs, strengths, interests, and experiences. Learners' linguistic, cultural, socio-economic, and religious backgrounds. Learners with disabilities, giftedness, and talents. Learners in difficult circumstances, and the learners from indigenous groups. Next is the fourth domain, which is the curriculum and planning. It is the process concerned with making decisions about what to learn, why, and how to organize the teaching and learning process taking into account existing curriculum requirements and the resources available. And it has 5 strands, which is the planning and management of teaching and learning process, learning outcomes aligned with learning competencies, relevance and responsiveness of learning programs, professional collaboration to enrich teaching practice, and teaching and learning resources including ICT. Next is the fifth domain, which is the assessment and reporting. It relates to processes associated with a variety of assessment tools and strategies used by teachers in monitoring, evaluating, documenting, and reporting learners' needs, progress, and achievement. And it has a 5 strands, which is the design, selection, organization, and utilization of assessment strategies, monitoring and evaluation of learners' progress and achievement, feedback to improve learning, communication of learner needs, progress and achievement to key stakeholders, use of assessment data to enhance teaching and learning practices and programs. Next is the sixth domain, which is the community linkages and professionals engagement. Community linkages refer to the interplay between employers and health specialists within a locality for the purpose of establishing the necessary resources for employees to adopt healthier lifestyles, and the professional engagement is an often underappreciated aspect for professional learning required. And it has a 4 strands, which is the establishment of learning environments that are responsive to community context, engagement of parents and the wider school community in the educative process, professional ethics, and lastly, the school policies and procedures. The 7th domain is the personal growth and the professional development. It describes the expectations of teachers, increasing levels of knowledge, practice, and professional engagement. And it has the 5 strands, which is the philosophy of teaching, dignity of teaching as a profession, professionals' links with colleagues, professional reflection and learning to improve practice, and lastly, the professional development goals. And the last topic we have to discuss is the career stage. The first stage is the career stage 1 or beginning teacher. The beginning teachers are defined as a teachers who reported having 5 or fewer years of teaching experience at the time of the survey. Second stage is the profession teachers. Proficient teachers are professionally independent in the application of skills vital to the teaching and learning process. The third stage is the highly proficient. It is having a great knowledge and experience in a trade or profession. And lastly, the fourth stage is the distinguished teacher. A distinguished teacher is one who earns an effectiveness level of proficient 2 or higher and have a passion in teaching.
That's all for today.
This is Marjorie Tahope.
And this is Camille Rose Joy Kirong. Thank you for listening.